Welcome, I am Gaurav. Today. I will talk about David Murasing's historic Delhi March, an extraordinary 2,500-kilometer foot journey demanding Greater Tipraland and the deportation of illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. I will explain the complete timeline, key milestones, challenges, political responses, the Tiprasa Accord and its current impact. Let's begin. July 5, 2025. Starting point, Agartala. David Murasing begins his 2,500-kilometer justice march on foot from Agartala, Tripura. The goals are pretty clear. To demand Greater Tipraland, to push for deportation of illegal Bangladeshi immigrants, and to submit a memorandum at Janta Manta, New Delhi. Early stages, Agartala to Churaibari. The march passes through Churaibari, Tripura's last outpost towards Assam. A grand send-off ceremony is organized. Hundreds of Tiprasa members and senior leaders like Brishaketu Debarma, Nandita Debarma, and Jagadish Debarma join in, showing party-wide support. Mid-July 2025. Crossing into Assam. Murasing enters Assam and continues the Delhi Padal Abhiyan or Delhi Foot March. A detailed progress report up to July 13th is shared publicly. July 14th to 18th, 2025. Khasi Hills route. Murasing traverses the Khasi Hills region. He faces minor foot injuries, but continues marching with strong determination. Social media updates highlight both his emotional struggles and the public support he's receiving. Late July 2025. Growing political impact. National and regional media begin covering the march. The Election Commission of India invites Tiprasa leaders to Delhi for talks on illegal migration and electoral roll revision. The ECI promises a special intensive revision of voter rolls in Tripura and other states. Demands of the Delhi March. First, Greater Tipraland, a separate state or autonomous region for the Tiprasa or indigenous people. This demand is rooted in Articles 2 and 3 of the Indian Constitution. It includes areas under the Tripura Tribal Areas Autonomous District Council and adjacent tribal belts. Second, deportation of illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. Those entering after March 1971 should be identified and deported. Tiprasa cites 148,000 illegal voters identified in 2012, with no action taken. Third, implementation of the Inner Line Permit. Based on Clause 2, Subclause E of the 1993 Memorandum of Settlement, Tripura leaders demand ILP enforcement in tribal areas. This is meant to protect tribal identity and demographics. And finally, full implementation of the Tiprasa Accord, signed on March 2, 2024. The Tiprasa Accord, signed between Tiprasa, the government of Tripura and the centre, promised constitutional, cultural and economic safeguards. Tiprasa leaders allege slow or stalled implementation, leading to frustration and renewed agitation. The march faced some serious challenges along the way. There were physical hardships like blisters, injuries, extreme weather, and honestly, just sheer fatigue from walking 2,500 kilometers. On top of that, there were logistical issues, figuring out food, shelter and medical support for Murasing and all his supporters. Politically, tensions rose between Tiprasa and the BJP, especially over delays in implementing the promises of the Tiprasa Accord. And, despite the scale of the march, there was a noticeable gap in national media coverage. Current political impact. The Election Commission of India actually held talks with Tiprasa about illegal migration and cleansing the voter rolls. They went on to announce a special intensive revision of electoral rolls across the entire country. ILP demand MLA. Ranjit Debarma submitted a memorandum to the Union Home Minister, Amit Shah, asking for the enforcement of the Inner Line Permit, or ILP, in Tripura's 6 schedule areas. Greater Tipraland discussions. Murasing's march has really reignited a national debate on the rights and autonomy of Tripura's tribal population, especially when it comes to the idea of Greater Tipraland. So just to sum up the key highlights, the march began on July 5, 2025, in Agartala. Some of the major milestones included the Churaibari send-off, entering Assam, and crossing the Khasi Hills. The main demands were for Greater Tipraland, deportation of illegal immigrants, implementation of the Inner Line Permit, and making sure the Tiprasa Accord gets implemented. Of course, there were plenty of challenges, from physical injuries and tough terrain to all sorts of logistical hurdles. The impact has been pretty significant, with the Election Commission getting involved, national attention growing, and a promise for voter roll revision. Conclusion. David Murasing's Delhi March is not just a protest. It's actually a historic assertion of Tripura's indigenous identity. It's already pushed the Election Commission to promise a special intensive revision of voter rolls and forced some real discussions about illegal migration and constitutional protections. The final outcome, the submission of the memorandum at Jantar Mantar in New Delhi, could shape Tripura's political and demographic future for years to come.
Thank you for watching and listening. Hi Hind.